Welcome to Lafayette Square. We're in front of a very windy White House. Apologies if you hear a little bit of that blowing through. We're going to talk about the spending deal that Congress has come to, and that about 100 Republicans in the House of Representatives, and then also all members, it seems like, of the conservative media are decrying as a total loss for Republicans and for Trump. We're going to talk about the question of whether or not Trump will actually sign something that people are saying is a humiliating defeat for him.
I think Mitch McConnell said right off the bat that we are not going to shut down the government. Now, what does that tell the Democrats? Go for broke.
Win.
They win right off the bat. It's like unilateral disarmament. We didn't do that with the Soviets.
We continue to pay for refugee resettlement. We continue to pay for sanctuary cities. We continue to fund Planned Parenthood. We continue to increase spending for liberal priorities. What is the point of voting Republican if the Democrats are going to continue to win practically 95% of their objectives, such as in this last budget?
That is just music to the ears of Democrats, because their biggest hope is that in 2018, Republicans will be so sad about Trump's inability to get anything done and these capitulating Republicans in Congress who don't do anything, that they, for maybe the first time in their lives, will sit out an election. Trump began by apologizing for the deal, saying the reason that I got such a lousy deal is that I needed 60 votes in the Senate, so I needed Democrats to come along, which is very true. And he said, so the answer to that is maybe I need to shut down the government in September when all of this is over, which is strange because his chance to shut down the government is now. But yes, funding will run out again in September, closer to the 2018 election, so there'll be less appetite among Republicans to do it then. He said, or we can blow up the filibuster in the Senate. A couple hours later, I was at the press conference where Mitch McConnell was asked about Trump's idea to eliminate the filibuster, and he said that will not happen. So Trump began by saying, well, this is why I got such a bad deal. They now seem to be moving a little bit closer toward it's not a bad deal, it's a really good deal.
Democrats have raised the issue and tried to cast this as a Democrat victory. I think it's important today and only fair to show you what's really in the bill and how the president actually cut a tremendous deal for the American people.
No funding for the border wall. That's a replacement. No funding for a new wall along the U.S. southern border. Planned Parenthood.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me finish.
I'll let you finish, but let me ask you a question. You're asking a series of questions. I'll stop you right there. When you heard about the deal yesterday, when you heard
the border wall, no new border wall along the U.S. southern border. Planned Parenthood was not defunded. You've already said that another priority of the president was not carried through, and that's the sanctuary cities problem.
Is it a replacement for existing wall? Yeah, that's fine. Is it new wall? No. This is what's out there right now, okay? And this is what's going to be put in as a result of this bill, okay? That is better border security. You can call it new wall, you can call it replacement, you can call it maintenance, call it whatever you want to. The president's priority was to secure the southern border, and that's what this does. I don't know if it's this exact construction because I don't know where this photograph is. This wall is being installed on the southern border today.
Sean Spicer is finishing up his briefing as we speak, and he's taking the line that, in fact, it isn't a loss for Trump. It is instead a giant W.
This is a good deal, a great deal for the president. He got $21 billion in military funding.
Tons of it is going toward a 2.1% raise for the civilian and the military and the members of military within the Pentagon. So that's hundreds of thousands of people, many of them who are living on the margins. There are a lot of infantrymen and others who are on food stamps nearby the base. So a 2.1% raise for a lot of these people is long overdue. So it's not as if that money is going immediately to fund a war effort. It's going to stay here in the country, and it's going to go to higher wages for people who genuinely do need it. Could he shock the entire country by sitting down in front of the cameras and after this bill is passed by both houses of Congress and sent to his desk, and he scrawls a veto on it? In some ways, what would be better TV for him than that? He loves the last-minute drama. He's a reality TV star. He has never shown a ton of courage throughout his life. Starting from the beginning, he had a chance to serve in Vietnam if he wanted to, and he supported the war. I'm not saying that going to war is courageous, but he personally supported the war, and he dodged it every opportunity he had. Throughout his life, he's led a pretty pampered existence. So there's no real sense that he necessarily has the will to kind of stand up and do that and say, no, I'm going to shut the government down and veto this. But I would suspect that part of him is thinking about what the theater of that would look like. And I highly doubt it could happen. But with him, you can't rule anything out.